Hello, my name is Allison Brenelson, and I'm the superintendent of the Mukilteo School District. I would like to acknowledge that I'm not wearing a mask because I'm using a tripod and filming myself for this video. Hopefully, the start of your students' school year is off to a much better start than the experience they had last spring. I know we had a few technology glitches to start off the school year, but we have worked out the bugs and we're hopeful that those challenges are well behind us. However, if your student is having technology issues, we do want to hear from you. Please contact the district help desk in the technology service area and they will provide you with assistance. One area that's been hard to predict is when to transition back into school for in-person learning, and it's dependent on many factors. The Snohomish Health Department has advised us that we can start bringing students back for in-person instruction because COVID cases are on a decrease and have been decreasing for several weeks. They've suggested that we start with the youngest students first and those that have special needs or have special circumstances where distance learning has been a challenge. We are excited to plan and welcome some of our students back into the building. Figuring out the logistics can be quite complex. We've already started planning for in-person instruction, but we have a lot of things that we still need to work out. Our plan is we are hopeful to bring back preschool through second grade students by the end of October. And then we'll wait 2 to 3 weeks to see how that's going. We'll watch COVID cases, and if all goes well, we'll bring students back that are in grades 3 through 5, hopefully by the end of November. And then in terms of secondary students, we'll start with middle school students in a hybrid model. Hybrid means it'll be 2 days in person and 3 days distance learning. And we're thinking that we'll be able to bring back middle school students in December or very early in January. And then finally, our high school students will also be in a hybrid model, and they will come back to school no later than the start of second semester. Again, all these plans are in their initial stages, and we need to watch the data, and we need to see how many students will return to in-person instruction before we make final decisions. Now I'd like to introduce lead nurse Deb Suggs, who will share information about COVID and safety protocols.
Thank you, Allison. Since June, a core group of Mukilteo School District nurses have been meeting. In addition to reviewing federal, state, and local guidelines as they evolved, we began drafting nursing protocols in anticipation of staff and students returning to our buildings. We worked with the district safety director and as a result, developed a comprehensive response plan that covers procedures that range from daily wellness screening, protocols for isolating symptomatic staff and students, and the how and when to return to school after illness. The facts that surfaced over the past 6 to 9 months guide our work, training program, and response plan. We know that we can significantly reduce the spread of COVID-19 by taking these basic precautions that include staying home when you're sick, wearing a cloth face covering safely and correctly when in a shared airspace with others, maintaining at least a 6-foot distance between yourself and others, and avoiding close contact. And close contact is defined as being within 6 feet of another person for 15 minutes or more. So if we can avoid coming in and spending close time with people, we can avoid exposure risk and the need to quarantine. We can also help prevent the spread of disease by cleaning frequently used surfaces. Although we know that COVID-19 is airborne, the close contact is the primary way to contain the spread. Following health safety guidelines and avoiding close contact are the best ways to avoid exposure, quarantine, illness, and missing school or work. Assistant Superintendent Bruce Hobart has led the operational planning and will share with you now how this information will be applied to in-person learning.
Thanks, Deb. You'll notice that I'm not wearing a face covering. I've removed my face covering because I'm in a room by myself producing this video for you. You may be wondering what school will look like as we bring students and staff back into the school setting. Let me start with transportation. Similar to what Deb said about safety measures, Students who ride the bus can expect less students on the bus. This will provide for more space between students on the bus ride to school. Students will be required to wear face coverings, and we will have the windows in the bus partially open to allow for greater airflow during the bus ride. In addition, transportation staff will have increased cleaning and disinfecting protocols during bus routes. When students arrive to school, whether by bus or family drop-off, they will be spaced out so that we can better regulate the number of students entering the school at any one time. Both students and staff will be required to complete attestations before they come to school each day. This will ensure we have no one in the building who are demonstrating or showing any COVID-19 symptoms. In classrooms, desks will be spaced apart, and we will minimize the mixing of students throughout the day. Classrooms will have fewer students. Students and staff will be required to wear face coverings throughout the day, and we will have extra face masks on hand for those who need them. Staff will have cleaning protocols in the classroom, and frequent hand washing and hand sanitizing will occur throughout the student day. We will be revising many procedures that have typically occurred during a normal school day. This includes serving lunch and recess. We will be devising ways to better meet the social needs and the physical movement needs of our students in place of recess. We are planning a very structured school experience, but with the benefits of face-to-face instruction and the interaction of students that is important for their learning. Additionally, we will have clear response plans as guided by the Department of Health in the event someone with COVID-19 is in the school.
Thanks, Bruce. That was a lot of information. And I guess what's important to know is when we transition back to in-person learning, school's going to look a little bit different for our students and our staff. At the end of the week, you will be sent a survey. Staff and families of elementary students will receive a survey, and it's very important that everybody fills it out. We need to have very accurate information about which students are planning to remain in a distance learning model and which students are planning to return. If you do choose to remain in a distance learning model, please know that your teacher may change. And if you do commit to that, to staying in a distance learning model, we ask that you stay in that model at least through the end of first semester, which is the end of January. Then we'll reevaluate and see which students would like to come back, if any, for the second half of the school year. I understand that distance learning has been tough on staff and families. And bringing students back in person presents its own set of challenges. So please watch for another town hall in early October where we'll share more information and answer questions. And again, we are starting with preschool through second grade students. Our hope is to have those students transition, for those that want it, in-person instruction by the end of October. But please fill out the survey that will be coming out later on this week. And finally, thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for your flexibility as we plan to return to in-person instruction while keeping everybody safe. I appreciate you. Thanks.